And you are looking live at sold out MetLife Stadium, where today the 16-0 and playoff bound New York Giants will be taking on the 0-16 Dallas Cowboys. And why are the Dallas Cowboys 0-16? Because they suck. Welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody out there at all going to spend a little bit of time with me here this evening? Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I greatly appreciate it. If anybody's going to spend any time at all watching a replay of this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It really means the world to me. I'm going to try to go about 30 minutes here tonight. Shoot my mouth off. A lot of times it goes a little bit longer than 30 minutes, but I'm going to try to go at least 30. Anybody got anything to say, please feel free, fire away, throw it in the chat box. I usually check on the chat box like every 5 or 10 minutes or so. So if anything gets put in there, as soon as I see it, I try to respond to it. So please feel free, fire away. Plus, it's nice. Sometimes it's nice, instead of me just going rambling on and on and on and on, it's nice to talk to somebody every now and then. You got to give me a second here. My dog, Randy, wants to. Every time I start talking, he doesn't do it beforehand. As soon as I start talking, there he is. Okay, he's here now. Now I can start petting him. Now we can continue. I got to move the chair every time for him. But is anybody got anything to say? Please feel free. Fire away. Throw in the chat box. Before I get started, anybody wants to help support my channel out, it would mean the absolute world to me. In the description box below, there's a top link, okay? It takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. The first one's called the Saquon, the second one's called the Lawrence Taylor, and the third membership level is called the Gridiron. Each one has their own little perks to them, right? There's loyalty badges. Each loyalty badge is a different Giants helmet. And each one, the older the helmet is, the longer you've been a supporter of my channel. If you get the leather helmet, okay, associated with your name, right, means you've been a supporter of my channel for a long time. There's 4 emojis. Eventually, there'll be a 5th emoji coming out. Right, I had these things made up on fire. Freaking crack me up every time I look at them. You can use them in the chat box. You've been making a comment, right? I said eventually there'll be a 5th emoji coming out, but right now there's 4 of them. So if anybody wants to help support my channel out, once again, would mean so much to me. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, or if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. If you're not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon. That way, next time I put a video out or I go live, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. What do you got to lose, right? Right now, I got 6,000. I'm almost on the the almighty sixes here. I'm at 6,662 subscribers. I start the day with here 6,629. So what the hell is that? 33. So I've gone up 33 subscribers so far today. And I'll tell you what, I've been very pleasantly surprised. Very happy. So happy. Usually, like after the season's over with, it starts to tail off a little bit, the amount of subscribers, because, it's baseball season or basketball season's in full swing now. You got the, March Madness is coming as the month for March Madness. You got hockey and all of that. So sometimes usually the football starts tailing off a little bit. But I tell you, I'm still getting 30 or 40 subscribers every day, which is absolutely phenomenal. It was like the beginning of February. I got the 5,000 count mark with my subscribers. I never thought in my wildest dreams I'd actually get 5,000 subscribers on this channel, but here I am at 6,662 and still going strong. As I said, I got 33 today. I'm on my way to possibly another 40 subscribers today. So if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you so much. Thank you. And if you're not, please, as I said, just go down below, hit the subscribe button, the bell icon. That way, you'll be notified. And as I said, it's free of charge, right? And then finally, also in the description box below, okay, there's 2 Facebook links, okay? The top Facebook links takes you to my Facebook group. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. Everything's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron, because that way a moron like me, I can remember it, all right? I don't have to start with, what's the page called? What's the group called? What's my YouTube channel? What's the password? I mean, I don't have to worry about it. It's all called the same thing. Right now, we just went over the 2,600 member mark. We've been holding steady at over 2,500 members for a past week or so, but now we got up to 2,600. We just got up there today. Okay. I try to put a boatload of stuff in there at least 10 different items in here every day. One of our members just posted something in here, a picture apparently from 1959, the Giants and the Cleveland Browns, must be from Yankee Stadium. Got Frank Gifford running the ball, Roosevelt Brown throwing a block. Got Charlie Connolly in the background. He's looking on. I put stuff in here, stuff making fun of the Eagles, stuff making fun of the Cowboys. I got a little biography here of Jim Kinnicky. He played 2 years for the Giants. The Giants made a trade with the Browns before the 1970 season. We got we got Ron Johnson, okay, and Jim Kinnicky and Wayne Meelan, a linebacker. All right. We had to trade away Homer Jones, though. Okay. But Homer Jones, I think, only played one more season because he was having problems, I think it was his knees. But so I got a picture of Jim Kinnicky making a tackle against the Atlanta Falcons in the Giants' 21-17 victory in 1971 over the Atlanta Falcons. That was a freaking tough, fucking brutal fucking game, let me tell you what. But I remember watching on TV, Fran Tarkenton, with about 30 seconds to go, it was 4th down and goal. The Giants, I think they could have tied the game up. I think it's 17-7, but they decided to go for the touchdown. Fran Tarkenton called some signals. One of the guys, I forgot who it was, but it was Morrison. Somebody ran him in for the Morrison. Joe Morrison ran in motion for the Giants. He took one of the linebackers out of the play for the Falcons who went to go cover him. Left a freaking huge gap in the defensive line for the Falcons. They were at the 3-yard line, I think it was. Fran Tarkenton took the snap. He took one step back. The holes opened up like God parted the Red Sea or something, and he ran into the end zone and scored the game-winning touchdown. I remember watching that on TV. It was freaking phenomenal. Got a picture of Lawrence Taylor here. Got some stuff showing, what Geno Smith got paid. The reason why I put that there and what Derek Carr got paid was because, kind of maybe somewhere around what Daniel Jones might get paid. So there's all kinds of stuff going in here. Okay. Every day. All right. So not only am I putting stuff in here, but the members are putting stuff in here as well, too. And then also, okay, there's another link. Okay. The second Facebook link. Okay. It takes you to my Facebook page. Okay. I'm the administrator, so I'm the only one to post in the page. Okay. But it's the same thing. I try to post at least 10 different things in the page in the group every day. And a lot of times it's much more than that. All right. Right now we have 717 people who like it. There's over 3,400 people following. We just went up we were holding it tight at 3,300 for a little while. We're up to over 3,400 people following it right now. So really, really, really doing good. I'll tell you, very, very, very surprised, pleasantly surprised. As I said, I put all kinds of stuff in here every day too. There's one here is a picture. Okay. It's called of Willowbrook Park. Now, of course, that may not sound very familiar to anybody. It's the first field that technically the Giants ever played on. They played the new All-Britain team. They were new All-Britain. They were a team from, there was a Connecticut league, okay, and the Giants played them. Actually, the All-New Britain team. There was Connecticut. A bunch of teams formed like a league in Connecticut, and the All-New Britain team was one of them. So the Giants played like an exhibition game on October 4th, a preseason game, basically, kind of in October, right, before they actually started their season, okay, in October, right? But they played a team from Connecticut, all right, on Willowbrook Park. All right, on October 4th, 1925, and they wound up winning that game 26-0. But so they played that game basically like a week before they started the regular season. If you can freaking imagine that. So I got a picture of that. Of course, it's not the picture that it was back in 1925, but it shows a picture of the field actually where the Giants played basically pretty much their first game ever. It was a preseason game. All right. Something shown here. Zach Kuntz, the tight end from Old Dominion, his RAS score, which was perfect at 10.0. something showing at the top wide receivers athleticism scores from the combine and stuff like that. I mean, all kinds of stuff, right? And basically, I don't mix this stuff up. So basically, whatever I put in the page, I don't put on the group, and whatever I put in the group, I don't put in the page. So I don't mix the two things together, right? So basically, if you go to the page and you like it and you follow it, and you go to the group and you become a member, between the two, you get a ton of New York Giants information every day. All right. And as I said, if you're not satisfied, you get your money back guaranteed, right? So what do you got to lose? So all that said and done, finally, huh? I'll tell you what, we got, it came down, I had my phone on, looking at ESPN. I kept, refreshing my computer screen, waiting 4 o'clock, and it was like a couple minutes beforehand. It looked like something like Daniel Jones and a strike. It finally struck a deal. Finally. Right. I mean, you certainly don't want to say the season hinged on the deal, but I mean, it was going to have a lot of, if they had a franchise tag, I was going to have a lot of bearing on what was going to want to possibly having to get done. As far as like bringing in guys, if we can bring in maybe a little juicy guy here, a little juicy guy there, in free agency. Now, as I said, I don't know if the Giants, be going hog wild in free agency. They, obviously we got a lot of guys that we want to try to bring back. I know they're talking with Nick Gates. They might want to try and bring maybe Sterling Shepard back. Let's see, Gates Feliciano. There's a lot of guys. I mean, I don't know if we're going to be bringing Julian Love back or not. Now, there's Poyer I keep seeing these reports about the Giants might be interested in Poyer, the safety from the Bills. Let me see if I can pull this up here. Anything Giants? I mean, it was supposed to be Bills free agent Jordan Poyer targeted by the Giants. All right, so I mean, add the Giants in his team with interest in Jordan Poyer. Now, the one nice thing about that, Poyer obviously is from the Bills, Daboll and Shane, huge, right? A lot of connection there, right? Which is huge. And that doesn't mean obviously he's going to come here just because of that, but that can't hurt. Without question, that can't hurt. He'll have a long list of offers to choose from, but New York is a team to watch. And the Giants will certainly have some money to play with now. I'm going to go over that in a little bit. It says Buffalo Bills standout Jordan Poyer has stated maybe playfully that he might want to escape northern weather and New York State taxes as he makes his free agency decision. Are the Giants aware that they are in the north and in New York? But, it doesn't mean, let's see, the Giants projected to have plenty of cap space now, thankfully, because of the Daniel Jones deal, right? Are being reported as being among the likely suitors once talks can begin legal tampering, which would be next Monday, legal tampering, right? So now if they wind up bringing in Poyer, they're not bringing back Julian Love. Okay. So I think that, we'll have to wait and see. I mean, I'm not quite sure, how much of a big splash, because it seems like Shane definitely without question wants to, build through the draft, develop the players they draft, right? And hopefully sign those players that they draft, okay? And just build the team that way. Now, I mean, that certainly doesn't mean that you can't, sprinkle in a little free agent here or there, but we don't want to go hog wild by bringing in 5 or 6, high-priced free agents and just start plugging them in there. All right, guys, take us to the Super Bowl. Now, if you bring in some free agents, so maybe you bring in a Poyer, right? And then you try to maybe, if you're going to like sprinkle in a couple guys here or there, maybe some depth, a little depth, maybe, not necessarily a boatload of starters, but, maybe some depth, right? Now, the Giants certainly need depth in a lot of areas. Now, I've also seen reports about the Giants being highly interested in like the linebacker, the inside linebacker position as well, too, in free agency. So, very, very interesting. We'll have to wind up waiting and seeing about that. There's also, the Giants going to need a cornerback, right? They're good. They'll be good prime position in the draft to take a cornerback as well, but they're going to need a cornerback position. I mean, obviously they need still a lot of holes to fill, but keep an eye on Poyer. That would be nice. But if they wind up trying to sign Poyer, they're not bringing back Julian Love. But Poyer, I think, would be a better, better player than unfortunately Julian Love is. But we finally got him signed. All right, it's got the 4-year deal worth 160. Now all the terms and everything I haven't seen yet are not totally out. All right. $82 million guaranteed with another $35 million available in incentives. Now I'm not have to wind up waiting and seeing. It's got done minutes before the Tuesday 4 p.m. deadline. Minutes, right? And then of course, as soon as that got done, they went and they franchise tag Saquon. So now Saquon can go out, I think, into the free world, and he can talk to other people. If other people, I don't know who's going to want to offer him, $13-14 million. That's not going to happen, and give up 2 first-round picks. I don't really see that happening. I mean, because the Giants will have the capability of matching that offer. Okay, because it's a non-exclusive franchise tag. Okay, it's not the exclusive. It would be the non-exclusive, meaning he can go out. Saquon can go out and say the Bears, okay, offer him say whatever, $12 million a year. Just the Giants have that, the Giants can say yes or no, and they'll say yeah, we'll match that. Okay, so then they have to sign Saquon for that amount, or they can say no. The Bears can sign him, but the Bears now have to give up 2 first-round picks. Now, I don't know any team's going to give up 2 first-round picks for Saquon, right? Plus, and have to pay the guy, okay? Going to have to pay the guy probably $12, $13, $14 million a year and give up 2 first-rounders. I don't see that happening, okay? If it's going to be interesting to see, how does this sour? Does it sour with Saquon? I mean, is he going to wind up sitting now? I'm not playing on that tag. I want a deal. I'm not playing until we get a deal. Who knows? But the Giants with Saquon, okay, now have until July, okay, to work out some type of a deal, and then they can rip up the franchise tag, okay, and Saquon can play on it on his new deal. So they got, all right, let me see, April, May, June, July. They got 4 months, okay, so they have 4 months to work out some type of a deal with Saquon, and then they can rip up that tag. Now, the good thing about that is that would give Saquon, it would be good for everybody. Everybody, if they can work out some type of a deal, okay? Now, unfortunately, Saquon turned down, okay, the deal that the Giants initially offered him, right? Let's see. The deal that was sitting on the table before this was somewhere in the $13 million, 12.5 to 13 million, what they says here in the ESPN, according to sources close to the negotiations, with the potential for it to be more with some easily attainable incentives. And he didn't want that. Okay. Don't be surprised to see Barkley all of a sudden realize the deal looks awfully good compared to a franchise tag. Yep. Absolutely. But I'm saying, but now the thing is now with Barkley, with his, the franchise tag, okay, that 10.1 comes right out of the salary cap. Okay. Now, and that's automatic, that's 10, that's guaranteed. That's 10.1, whatever it is exactly, against the salary cap. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. However, if the Giants and then him can strike up some type of a deal in the next 4 months, they can take that they can rip up the franchise tag, take that first year salary cap hit, drop it down to maybe $5 million, $6 million a year, somewhere around there. I'm just throwing the numbers out there. I could be way off, but they would be well below the 10.1, right? Or they come up with some kind of a deal for $12 million, 12.5. Well, it wouldn't be 12.5 the first year. As I said, it would probably be somewhere around like $5 million or $6 million or so. So once again, the Giants would, That way, Saquon would have a little more of a long-term contract in front of him. He have a little more security. Okay, he'll probably have more guaranteed money. Okay, so he'd be happy. The Giants would be happy because we have Saquon for another couple of years. You have Daniel Jones and Saquon together. But not only that, the salary cap hit would go down. All right, so we'd save some more money. So we'd have some more money to go out and get some more guys, which would be freaking huge. And I said so. They haven't brought out Daniel Jones's. I mean, it should be probably within the next day or so. We'll see what it all winds up working down to. But I've seen a lot of people, some very, very, smart people out there. This is why the information on the internet is so phenomenal and it's so unbelievably horrible, because sometimes you get these people who just report BS, and everybody, oh my God, look what's going on, But there's other places and people and all that know, they figure stuff out. They're kind of figuring out maybe Daniel Jones' initial first year salary cap hit might be around like $12.5 million. Now that is so much better than the 32.5 almost million, the franchise tag. Where that's 20 extra $1 million the Giants will have, okay, to go out and sign players, bring back some of the free agents. $20 million. You can bring, I mean, I'm just throwing guys' names out there. That's all I'm doing. But I mean, if you're looking at like, you could probably bring back, I'm just throwing names out there. That's all I'm doing. Like Richie James, you can bring back Sterling Shepard. You can bring back Feliciano. You can bring back Gates. You can bring back Slayton. You can bring back all those 5 guys. And probably Julian Love for probably $20 million a year. Right? So, I mean, so the amount that we saved, we can bring back maybe 6 other players. And I'm not saying we're going to be bringing back all of them or any of them, but that's what that money saved, which winds up being huge, absolutely huge. Now, the Giants salary cap, according to Spot Track right now, this is after Saquon Barkley's 10.091. So basically around up to 10.1 million. Okay. Once his 10.1 comes right out of the salary cap. Now, after the Giants, okay, basically what they have here, they have 33.4 million. After they would sign their draft class, okay, and after Saquon's money came out, they have 33.4, okay, in according to Spot Track. All right. If you go to over the cap, the number would probably be a little bit different. I always go to Spot Track because I can follow their numbers a little bit easier. So they got 33.4. Right, that's with Saquon, and that's after their draft class. Okay, so we got 33.4. That's not including Daniel Jones, though, because they haven't figured out Daniel Jones's salary, his initial first year cap hit or anything. We know what Saquon's is because it's a 1-year deal, all guaranteed money, about $1 million, but it's right out of the salary cap. Now, as I said, they have 4 months. They can work out some type of a deal with Saquon. Okay, and they can rip up that tag, right, and then work work on the new deal that they come up with. Now, whether they're going to come up with a new deal or not, who knows? Saquon going to play hardball, and I'm not playing for anything under 15. Who knows? I don't know. But that might be another soap opera for another day. But right now we got both guys. Okay, but so we got 33.4. Okay, so let's just say Daniel Jones's first year salary cap hit is 12.4. Just throwing a number out there. All right, that would give the Giants or say 13.4. That would give the Giants $20 million. Okay, so that means they would have Daniel Jones, they would have Saquon Barkley, and they would have their entire draft class signed. That would give them and give them $20 million. Okay. Salary cap money. Now, obviously, there's other ways. There's other guys the Giants can let go. Shane Lemieux, if they have like 14 offensive linemen. I mean, they got some guys that they can let go. I mean, Shane Lemieux's one of them. There's I forgot who the other guy. There was a couple. I mean, obviously, one of them was Graham Gano. You're not letting Graham Gano go. You know what? But I mean, there's a couple of guys you can let go, who you can save a little bit of money here or there, but nothing huge. Okay. But obviously, you got what's not included in that salary cap money is Kenny Galladay's money. Now, you don't know if he's going to be a pre-June 1st cut or a post-June 1st cut. If he's a pre-June 1st cut, the Giants only save 6.7 million. okay, toward the salary cap, okay? But if they kind of that's an extra 6.7, okay? So that would give the Giants 20. I'm just throwing, guesstimations out here, but that would give them about $26.7 million after the draft class, after Saquon Barkley money, and maybe after Daniel Jones's first year comes out. That would, and if they cut Kenny Golladay before June 1st, that would give them about $27 million or so in salary cap money. Then, okay, what they can also do is they can also try to restructure Leonard Williams' contract, maybe extend him for another couple of years. Let's take his $32 million cap hit this year, my God, and bring it way down, okay? Bring it down, maybe around $20 million somehow, okay, and save like another $10 million bucks. All right. So the Giants could have $35 to $40 million or so. All right. Which would be really, really nice. Now, if they decide to cut Kenny Golladay post June 1st, right? Post June 1st, they would save about $14 million in salary cap. They would get some dead cap money going into 2024. Okay, they would have like 6.7 or 6.8 or somewhere around there of dead cap money, which would go next year. All right, but if they wanted to save some extra money this year, all right, they cut them after June 1st, they would save themselves about $14 million. Okay, so if they did that, they would have $40 to $45 million possibly, by letting Kenny Golladay go, cutting him after June 1st, which might wind up happening because they don't need that money right now. They do not need that money right now. So that's a possibility. That's a huge possibility. All right. The Giants could have their draft class signed. Okay. Draft class signed. They could have Daniel Jones. They could have Saquon Barkley, okay, all that, all right, and they can have $35 to $45 million or so in salary cap space. Now, as I said, what that does, that would give the Giants whatever $5 to $10 million maybe going into the season, right? Which is huge. You can't go in there with like a million or two. You can't. You don't want to be like that. You want to have like maybe $5 to $10 million going into the season, okay? But I mean they could bring back some of their free agents that they have from their team, and they can go out and maybe get something like a Poyer, right? Or maybe one of those is a boatload of linebackers out there. Now I'm not sure if they're going to wind up trying to maybe sign like Kendricks or Wagner. One of those guys is older. There would be just like a placeholder. I mean, it's somebody he's going to bring in for a couple years, like a Blake Martinez or something like that. You can have him in for a couple years. They'd be a little expensive, couple years. They'll certainly help your team out without question, but they're not going to be a long-term solution. They're not going to be here forever. Okay. Now, as I said, I'm not sure, they're going to try to go out and maybe sign somebody, younger, right? Might cost, one of those free agents out there might cost them obviously a little bit of money, but maybe bring somebody in a little bit in who's younger, and maybe they might want to keep on the team for a period of time. So, I mean, you got your free agents, guys that are going to come in here for just a couple of years. You use them, right? And then you say bye-bye, or some guys you bring in, you might want to keep around for a while. So it'd be interesting to see. But the Giants could quite possibly, I mean, thanks to Daniel Jones, right? With this deal here, they could have, $30 to $45 million with some salary cap, and that's including signing the draft class, having Saquon Barkley and Daniel Jones. Now, according to like the heads, the talks went like well into the night last night. What I was reading or heard and all that, things got a little little tense. There was some I don't know. No, I don't want to say bad blood, but there was some I don't know. Some tense vocabulary was going on, shall we say? But finally, it's simply amazing. I just kept looking and looking, and it's like it's like 3:15. Okay, where's the deal at? It's 3:30. Where's the deal? I'm looking on my ESPN app, and because that's how I found out about David Carr and Geno Smith. It's like I get these updates on my ESPN app on my phone, tell me that Geno Smith and Carr and Derek Carr, they signed. I'm like, oh, great, So I'm waiting for an update. I kept going on my computer, kept looking, trying to keep refreshing the page. Okay, where's the Daniel Jones? And I didn't even see it until it was after 4:00. It was like 10 after 4, and I saw it on my phone. I typed in like New York Giants news, and something popped up. It said Daniel Jones and the Giants strike a deal just before 4:00. I'm like, so I didn't see it even until after 4:00. So I mean, they must have just snuck it in there. But the thing is no, they'd have to sneak that. They'd have to sneak the deal. But I mean, they wanted to do it because they were going to have to franchise tag somebody. Right. If they didn't get Daniel Jones done, they were franchise tagging him. Okay. And then they would have about a week to try to work something out with Saquon, or he could possibly become a free agent. Right. Because they'd have till next Monday. Right. And that's when the illegal tampering goes on. But if they signed Daniel Jones, they had to get the franchise tag on Saquon Barkley before 4:00. So, I mean, that's the kind of weird thing that made this kind of weird. Right. I mean, a lot of some teams are like trying to work on one guy, while we want to work on this guy. I mean, some guys, some teams franchise tagged players a few days ago, but this was coming down to the last end. The Giants were working on two, like basically at the same time. If one got signed, they franchised the other. If the first guy didn't get signed, they had a franchise to, so. At 4:00, I mean, they really pushed it. They made it close. Let me tell you what. But finally, they got the deal done. And I said, we're not exactly sure. There's like $82 million guaranteed. We'll have to wait and see what it all comes out to be. It says it's a 4-year deal. The Giants it could be an option for a 5th year. There could be an option for them to get out after 4 years. I mean, so a lot of guaranteed money seems early on. So maybe the Giants can get out after 3 years. I mean, we'll have to wait and see exactly what the deal, what all the contents of the deal is. Hopefully we'll find out that maybe either tomorrow or, in the upcoming days. But finally we got it done. So whether you like it or not, Daniel Jones will be our quarterback for the next few years. Okay. And I said, we got Saquon. Hopefully we can work out a deal with him. They have 4 more months to work out a deal with Saquon. Okay. And maybe save a little bit more cap money. All right. They can rip up that franchise tag they have on Saquon. Okay. And the Giants help the Giants salary cap wise too. Because, it would be nice. I really like to see Daniel Jones and Saquon because I think they both feed off of each other, So it's really, really good. And as I said, I think absolutely huge that the Giants have all this flexibility now this year. Okay, with maybe bringing back some free agents and maybe going out and grabbing a nice little free agent here or there, right? Because they have the flexibility. If they had a franchise Daniel Jones, that's $32.4 million right out of the cap, And not only that, but then it would have been tough to try to bargain anything with Saquon, and Saquon could have gone. So I mean, the Daniel Jones, a lot of it hinged on what Daniel Jones was. So at least I'm glad everything worked out all around. Hopefully I'm happy. The Giants are happy. Daniel Jones is happy. So hopefully we're going to breathe a little sigh of relief. And then we got 1 week. Okay. 1 week, guys, free agency. It's freaking unbelievable. Isn't it? Absolutely amazing. Isn't it? Then we got, then you got about another, after free agency starts, you got like 6 more weeks and you got the draft. It's unbelievable. Before you know it, May's going to be here, right? Simply amazing. But Giants got their quarterback, and hoping we have our star running back, right? Franchise tag. Hopefully it doesn't cause a problem because not everybody wants to play on a franchise tag. So we'll have to wind up waiting and see what exactly winds up happening. But as of right now, all right, as of today, right, 4:00 or whatever it was, Giants have Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley signed for the upcoming season. So good news. Well, guys, it's been 34 minutes. Anybody spent any time at all? Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I greatly appreciate it. It means so much to me. Thank you. Or if anybody's going to spend any time watching a replay of this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. And as always, guys, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo!